This is Off the Break Podcast, presented by Silver Screen Insider.
It's time for Off the Break Podcast, your podcast dedicated to current movie theater news, operations, and insights from the people that book the movies. I'm Cody, and with me as always is Kyle and Ken.
Hello.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers,
It's Friday.
It's Friday. Ting.
Wait, get me in on
Ting,
this.
ting. There we go.
The sound effects coming in, this time not from me, but from Cody.
I know. I'm getting really into these sound effects. That was my glasses clinking sound effect for anybody that was confused.
In case
by
if no one knew what we meant.
Yeah. I'm enjoying a night's Mike's Hard Black Cherry Lemonade after this week.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor, but I really needed it. I have been through a lot of government website processes this week, and my brain is fried, people. I hope you appreciate all the work that we have done, because I have gone through the sam.gov site, the Duns and Bradstreet number site, the NAICS site, or NAICS. Is that how you say it?
That's how they said on the website.
Yeah.
You pronounce it as NAICS, and they will get very mad if you don't say it that way.
At the NAICS website. And not to mention then SBA.gov, or the SBA website for Corona relief and the shuttered venues, operators, grants. Oh my gosh, it's all just blurring together, people. But we will get through it. We'll dive deep into this today. This will be your podcast to end all podcasts. For bureaucracy.
Buckle up. This is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to talk about numbers
much.
And government forms and government websites.
Well, let's just jump into that first. I'm going to close my eyes for a minute, and then we'll get into the fun stuff.
Let's give
You're geared up with all this other stuff.
I'm so geared up. We should give everybody a minute to go get their own drinks so they can go through this with us together.
So pretend that we cut here, and we
Go
actually
ahead and
wait
pause.
a minute.
Wait. Quick run to the refrigerator.
Hold on.
Oh, yeah. Good idea.
Wait, hold on 1 second.
Oh, you stop.
Okay, perfect. Here we go.
You need
Government
to be as
forms.
invested in this as all of the listeners
No,
are.
you and Kyle killed it today.
Yeah.
And I did.
And we're going to bring you down with us.
You guys did a great job today, explaining it all, writing it all out for silverscreeninsider.com, where it's all available.
In
for
the
people.
announcements section, people, just log in, go right to announcements. All of the forms that we're going to talk about, all the how-to things that Kyle and I just created are going to be posted right there. So in announcements on silverscreeninsider.com, log in, get those forms.
Broken down step by step by
15 steps.
Only.
Only.
It felt like 1,500.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess what we'll do is we'll get started just going over those a little bit, and then we'll get into the upcoming release changes, my booking strategies, and some news. So, all right.
dun 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 dun. Cap it.
Let's take it away. Well, let's start with, I guess, the Duns and Bradstreet how-to. So this one was fairly easy, just a few steps. You just need to go to the link that we provided on silverscreeninsider.com in the Duns and Bradstreet number lookup. You can also just Google Duns and Bradstreet number lookup, and it'll give you a link there as well.
I love their freshman album.
No tickets. We've searched through the whole website. No tickets. No Brooks and Dunn concert for us.
And then when you get there, it's just a couple easy steps of a drop-down menu. I suggest you choose other company, then put in the information. You can search by phone number or by company name. If you decide to do company name, less is more. Just put the name and the state you're looking for. If you try to fill in too many fields, I think it confuses the search, and it just makes it a little harder. And then when you get the results, this is the big SSI note that you'll see in the how-to. Take a screenshot of it. You will need the screenshot later. Trust me, it will save you so much time and aggravation if you take a screenshot of your entry. So please do that.
Now, is this based off of personal experience when going through the website, or is this just a hunch?
So much personal experience.
Hey, Cody, take it easy. Cowgirls don't cry.
I almost did. Okay.
I had no idea you knew so many Brooks and Dunn songs outside of Red Dirt Road.
Oh, we're just getting started.
Oh, no. Okay. So that's kind of step one. And then step two is you can look up your NAICS identification code. And this is just a code given to the type of business that you have. And I took the opportunity to just type in movie theater in the search line, and I posted a screenshot of some of the entries that come up. There are dine-in theaters. I think they mean more for like dinner theaters, like what you think of Las Vegas with the jousting tournament dinner theater.
Only in America.
but I'll leave it up to you. If you have food and beverage service, you can apply just as a regular movie theater. There is a distinction between movie theater and drive-in. So if you are a drive-in, you will have a separate number. So just be aware of that. And if you're an amusement park situation where, say, you have games or rides and a movie theater, again, I'll leave that up to your discretion on what you should do there for that. But so just get that NAICS number and just keep that and set that off to the side. You'll need that down the road in the sam.gov. So now you've gotten all your information. You went and looked up the Duns and Bradstreet. You got your NAICS number. You went and got your EIN identification number, your financial institution checking account numbers and routing numbers and stuff. And I think that's about kind of it of what you need.
Hopefully you have a social security number.
Yeah.
Not flying under the radar. So you might need it.
Through this process, I found out that if you're a sole proprietor, you'll need the social security number. But if you are an LLC or a corporation, you will need your EIN number. So those are different, and definitely have those. And don't think that, like I did once through one of the processes, because I did this multiple times, that if you didn't have the EIN number, that a social security number of one of the managing members would work, because it doesn't. And then you can't change it, and then you're really screwed. So
learn from my personal experience.
Learn from my mistake there, people. Okay.
But once you've got all that together, you can do your boot scooting boogie.
Yeah, go to sam.gov.
Ken, you're awake.
Oh my gosh. all these songs. You're so good at this. Okay. So go to sam.gov.
You're going to miss me when I'm gone.
You're never leaving. How can I miss you? Go to sam.gov. You're very distracting, by the way. I keep losing my place.
That's the plan. You're welcome, everyone listening.
And
it can't just be all numbers and codes.
No. Part one of this process is you have to, if you have never signed up for a SAM identification number, so you've never applied for a federal government grant before, then you're going to need to create a user login. And that process is fairly simple. It's just a lot of going and entering your email address. They send you an email. They got to verify your information. So there's just back and forth with that. We went through the process and wrote some notes on it. That's included in our how-to manual. Then the second part of the process is once you've registered your account and you're able, have a login, you're able to get in, then you need to register each entity. So you have to go through this registration process for each entity. So if you own more than one theater, there'll be, individual, registrations for each one.
So you need to be very particular and meticulous about entering these so everything's correct?
Yes.
No screwing up?
No. Is that a song?
She's not the cheating kind.
I'm not, but I messed up and it looks like I did.
He got there, folks.
So just so all the listeners know, I went through this same process 3 times. The first time was kind of a practice run with one company, and I did fairly good. I made a few mistakes, and I will go through those just to let you know so you don't get tripped up like I did.
You made some mistakes? Mm-hmm. That ain't no way to go.
Yes.
Then the second time with another company, it was super easy process. I had been through it and I got it. But then I realized that I hadn't taken enough screenshots of my process or made enough notes when Kyle and I was sitting down to create these how-to manuals. So then I had to scramble, and because I couldn't go, it wouldn't let you go through the process again. Obviously, I've just been through it. So I had to find a third company really quick.
There must be one in here somewhere.
Oh, I'm a jack of all trades. So I had a third company.
And she's not lying. It's true.
No.
She pulled one out. I was like, where did that even come from?
Yeah.
The lost and found.
And I...
Hey.
And I did it with Kyle through the process so we could screenshot some of the things for our how-to manual. This one, I made a big mistake, which I alluded to before, in that I didn't have my EIN number right then and there. And so I was like, well, it's an LLC, so I have other members of it. And I thought, well, I'll just use my social because I'm a managing member of this LLC. And then it wouldn't let me go back and change it. And it only made me be a sole proprietor down the road, which is incorrect. So luckily that was not a company I'm ever looking to get federal grants for. So that was a big oops. So don't make my same mistake, people. If you are an LLC or corporation, have your EIN number.
Screenshot it, write it down twice.
Oh my gosh.
Screenshot it 3 times.
Have your tax info right there just so you can get the number correct. All right. So it's several steps. I think we counted in part 2 15 steps to get through this process.
Yeah.
So the big things I want you to remember, we're not going to go step by step in the podcast. You can, like I said, log into silverscreeninsider.com, go to announcements. We have the step-by-step how-to right there with links to all these sites.
Yes.
Okay, so the things I wanted to mention, though, as you go through this process, the big thing that will cause you so much heartache at the very beginning of the process if you don't have it correct is if you don't have the exact entry for your Duns and Bradstreet number. If you, no joke, put a capital where there's not supposed to be a capital in your legal name, if your address does not appear exactly how it is in the Duns and Bradstreet, it will kick you out and cause an error until you fix the problem. And if you don't realize it has to be exactly how it appears on that Duns and Bradstreet entry, you could be like, I have the right address, I have my right number, and just be losing your mind. So,
and then passive aggressively it'll go, but are you sure though?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure you didn't make a mistake, but let's check that.
Yeah. So
whoa. So a capitalization can cause an issue?
Yeah.
Blown my mind, little Miss Honky Tonk. Is it still working?
It's so working.
Yeah, I mean, it's working for us. I don't know if people have tuned out yet.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers. So, for example, I did our company, and I had our address, which was 638 South Ferguson, Suite 3. So I wrote out the word South, and I wrote out the word Suite, and I put the word Suite 3 in the second address line. And it kept error messaging me. And so I went and checked my Duns and Bradstreet. And sure enough, Duns and Bradstreet had S for South. So they didn't write out the word. And Suite was STE and then 3. And once I put that in, all in the first address line, it worked. But I would have lost my mind. I was getting so frustrated. I was like, what is going on? The process had barely even started. It was like the second or third page you come to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was just losing it. So that's where that screenshot really comes in handy. Because you don't want to have to go back through the whole Duns and Bradstreet saga of looking it up. Yeah.
After you figured that out, do you feel like a brand new man?
I do. Feel powerful. You know?
Rock my world. Keep going.
Okay. Then later in the process, you have to create an M pin, and you need to write this down exactly as you have it.
Just write it all down, folks.
Yeah, because you need this M pin is used to verify your identity later in the process. And if you don't have it exactly correct from what you just did 3 pages ago, it will not let you go on. And you cannot go and change the M pin very easily from when you got started. It's just this whole process. So the M pin can trip people up. It's M as in mom, PIN, and keep that written down exactly how you have that. And then There's a consent to disclosure section. This is where you need the EIN number and the MPIN number. So definitely have your EINs available. And if you're a sole proprietor, have your social right there. Have your financial information available. I think that they're going to award a fund and it'll be direct deposit. They do offer a section to get a check, but they're looking for your ABA and your account number for your bank. So they're probably going to want to wire you the funds down the road. And then there's a whole proceedings section way further down the process. And there's this legislation FAR F2.209-7, and I put a link to that because I didn't really know what that was. I put no when we did it. I leave it up to you to determine if you are part of that. I think it has something to do with securities and exchange public disclosures. I don't think anybody listening to this podcast has a company big enough that that becomes an issue.
Well,
but maybe,
if you do,
cross your
congratulations.
fingers.
Let's ballpark this thing. How long gone are we on this?
I have a couple more sections to go through.
Are we getting into deep cuts, Ken? Like only the true Brooks and Dunn fans are like, oh, what a great song.
It's
Underrated.
getting better all the time, Kyle.
God, I love this.
So yeah, then there's a financial assistance question. I just put yes to that. Of course, that's why we're applying. We would love financial assistance. I may be wrong on this, but I put yes. And then there's a mandatory point of contact section. They want you to fill in 4 different contacts. And I just put it as the same person, and they have a nice copy feature. And I really suggest you use it because you don't want to enter 4 people's points of contacts all different.
Well, then why... I don't know if you know the answer to this. Then why have 4?
It was like, who do we contact in your organization for government, and who do we for government related inquiries, and who do we contact for financial? Who's the accounts person, and who do we contact for business affairs to answer our business questions?
You know who we put in our boxes?
Who?
We put a girl in it.
A girl in our box.
Yeah.
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 I did. I put myself.
Exactly.
I apparently am the master.
He's got
worked.
you.
He's got
worked.
you?
He's got you.
You, Ken?
The hardworking man.
Oh my gosh. It's not ending. Okay.
They made that one of those number things for a reason.
So that
for this specific purpose.
So that gets you through the basic of the process. Again, go back to silverscreeninsider.com in announcements. You can go through the how-to. There's a lot more sections and stuff that I glossed over, but those were the really big things that tripped me up and stuck out to me that could cause some issues. Now, I just want to disclose, I am not a lawyer. This is not any legal advice. I am not an expert on this at all. I'm just a normal, average person that went through this 3 times, and this is the best I can give you for advice. So if you somehow go through the process and don't get your grant, do not blame us. I am not very good at this.
We're just building a bridge from you guys to those funds.
Yeah. And if the bridge is shaky and it kind of collapses, I'm sorry, we're not bridge experts here.
I am Silver Screen Insider's attorney, and I approve that statement. Yeah. I'm kidding. Not their attorney. God, no.
Great job, guys. I'm proud of the house we built.
We did it.
Is that it?
Yeah, for the stamps. Then you will get an email notification that they've accepted your application. And then you'll get another email notification when they've processed it and you've got your number. So then...
Wow.
That was the long goodbye, folks.
Yeah. After I went through that process twice, there was an SBA.gov webinar to talk about what they call the SVO grant, which is Shuttered Venue Operators Grant. I've been referring to this grant as the SOS grant, Save Our Screens. I think SOS is a little nicer than SVO.
It rolls off the tongue better. It has a nice ring to it.
Yeah, no one wants to be
the
shuttered.
Shuttered Ventures.
Like you're never opening again. No, this is Save Us. Save our screens, save our theaters. So I'm going to continue to refer to it as SOS. But when you go to the SBA.gov site, it's actually Shuttered Venue Operators Grant. They're the exact same thing in reference.
And we also have a link for that in the announcements page too.
So they gave this little webinar. It was, I want to say, very poorly done. It's only 13 minutes, and it's supposed to give a brief overview of the SOS grant, but they didn't really offer any information we already didn't know. So that was disappointing. But at the end of it, they did say that if you had any additional questions, to email them at svogrants at sba.gov, svogrants@sba.gov. And when you do, if you do have a specific question, put the topic of the question in your subject line, and that's how they're going to self-sort these questions and get them to the right people.
That's what it's all about.
We'll see if it works.
And that email address is also on the same announcements page as the link to the Shutter Venue Operators Grant.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
Terrible name.
So if you did happen to catch that webinar, they have the incorrect email address on the last slide. So please don't use the slide that they have.
We have the correct one.
We have the correct email address.
You're welcome. Oh my goodness.
So the only thing from that webinar that I got that I should want to make a note of is that if your theater was you opened your theater or became operational after January 1st of 2019, there is a different formula that you'll have to use to figure out your grant amount. And that takes your average monthly gross for a whole month. You can't use if you're only open partial months, you can't use that. So say you opened like middle of March of 2019 or middle of May, you just take the average of all the months you were fully open and times that number by 6, and that will get you what your potential grant amount is. The reason I bring this up is that there's a lot of questions on, should I do the SOS grant, or should I do more PPP, or should I try to get a separate loan from SBA? And I like to think that once you do the calculations, that you're still probably going to have an opportunity at more funds if you go through SOS, and that the funds can be used for a lot more things, because PPP really still can only be used towards payroll. So, and other small expenses, whereas the SOS grant is open up to a lot of your expenses. So there's that distinction in there. If you were operational as of January 1st, you get to take 45% of your 2019 gross revenue. Now, SBA has not defined what gross revenue is, so I can't tell you.
Of course they haven't.
It's
And that's the honky-tonk truth.
gross earned revenue.
Boom.
And I can't tell you if it includes any PPP or grants that you've received as part of that revenue calculation or not, or if this is just receipts brought in from ticket sales, or if it includes your concessions. I mean, it's just a lot of questions on what that gross revenue is. And
ain't nothing about you. They just haven't given us the information yet.
You're getting good.
All right. I'll give him. You almost didn't have me in the first half. Second half, though, I came back to it.
Yeah. So we'll put out a few of those screenshots of the slides from that webinar, but SBA says they're going to have more down the road. I'm hoping that the future ones are a lot better done. I mean, it was just sad. I could hear a lady in this one being like, next slide.
Yeah.
It's like they had never done a presentation before.
Don't have to say it. Just click the button. Click
She was
the
getting
arrow.
frustrated. She wanted to say, Mama, don't get dressed up for nothing.
Yeah, I don't. Okay. I felt very disappointed by that webinar.
Believe, guys.
So,
Oh, I love this. This is probably one of my favorite episodes now. Easily.
So if you have any other questions or concerns, you can definitely email us, email the SBA directly if it's something very specific that pertains to your location. But we are trying to go through this process with you guys so that we can offer some insights and just really help each other. And so if you have any tips or tricks as you go through this, please email us directly at I think it's offthebreakpodcast@gmail.com, and we will make sure that we get that posted and stuff for people.
Try to help you avoid your next broken heart.
Yeah.
Wow, that worked so well.
So, that I think concludes.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Okay, seriously, they had to have named it the Brooks. What's it called again? Dunn and
Dunn's and
Brooks,
Bradstreet.
They had to have.
wait.
They had to have gone to a Brooks and Dunn
Wait.
concert and be like, "I think we got something."
Hold
here,
on,
guys.
it's Dunn's and Bradstreet? Okay,
It
just
is.
edit me out, Kyle. That's embarrassing.
Well, when she first said, like last week, she was like, blah, 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 Dunn's and Bradstreet. She was like rattling so many things off. I was like, did she say Brooks and Dunn? What, like the country duo?
You
And
even said that today when we were going through it. You
Yeah.
said Brooks and Bradstreet or something like
it
that.
was like the same thing where like so many things were rattling off, and I was like, I don't even remember what this thing
Yeah.
is.
Kyle, it's just whiskey under the bridge. Don't worry about it.
Seriously, they all went to a Brooks and Dunn concert before this pandemic.
Yeah. Ken is just so clever.
No matter the
when
mistake,
he has
you'll-
a beer at the
I mean-
podcast.
No matter the mistakes in pronunciation, you'll always be loved by me.
I do bow to you, Ken. That was amazing.
He's still
That was
going.
amazing.
All right.
Are we done? No. Why would I say goodbye?
No, we are
Let's
not
get
done.
into this.
We got to get into now the actual industry stuff.
Well, that was technically the actual industry
is,
stuff.
but
That's
this
the
is-
most important thing that we have
That is.
going.
You're right.
you're
That's
talking-
why I
It's
opened
downhill
the
from here.
podcast with it.
I know. And that's why I took it very seriously.
Totally.
You did.
could have
So
been-
seriously.
he
Did
could
not.
have-
He did not fall asleep. So
He
that's
didn't.
positive.
Again, that's what it's all about.
All right.
What do we got now?
Let's go into some release schedule changes. Now that, everybody's going to save their cinema with all of this federal money coming in, we got to look at what we're going to play in these theaters now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not much.
Oh God.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
So let's start at the top of the list. There's a lot of things to go through. Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar, which was with Lionsgate, sold to streaming. So it's... That's me crossing it out.
I saw it for myself. That's
Yeah.
legit.
Okay. So we're over that. Morbius from Sony unfortunately moved from March to October. Now, it's not being sold to streaming. It's not going day and date. Sony's still an exclusive theatrical company. But it, without New York or LA open, with the theater still shuttered and the slow vaccination rollout, we're going to have a lot more movement in the first part of the year to the later part of the year. It's just going to happen, people.
This isn't too surprising. I mean, I think we were a bit more hopeful for at least like February to turn out okay, but all in all, like for the first quarter of this year, it's not too surprising to see this happening.
No, it sucks.
It does suck. Yeah.
Then United Artists, who I will get into about them later. They're on my shit list.
A Cody rant.
Moved Dog
What did
from February
they
to
hire
July.
Jordan Peele?
They might as well have. Maybe he is an executive at this company now. Who knows?
That news hasn't dropped yet, but we'll wait for it.
Dog, is that the Snoop documentary?
I don't
I
know what
wish.
it is.
Some Channing Tatum project, I think. I think he's involved.
Okay. Well, it moved from February, which I know absolutely nothing about other than the name is Dog, and it's from United Artists.
And the
to
one I'm
July.
excited about,
Okay.
they moved the breaking news in Yuba County up to February 12th.
And we're like,
it looks
oh,
like
yay.
It looks like an Academy
Wow.
Award contender, possibly.
So funny, the
it looks
trailer.
funny, kind of
Yeah.
like that Three Signs. to
Three
Ebbing, Missouri.
Billboards.
3 billboards.
Like the funnier version of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like it's humorous. It's got a great cast.
Sure.
It's good timing with the Oscars coming up.
And we're
I'll-
okay with the day and date.
And it moved up. Yeah.
We,
day and
we are
date.
right now. It just
Yeah.
is what it is. Take a drink to that. I mean, it's beer 30, guys.
I mean, what could possibly be wrong about this situation? This sounds like a win-win-win-win-win.
Well, I don't even know what to say, people. United Artists.
Oh, no.
Why? Okay.
Are we getting
I don't
into
want to be
this now or
offensive,
later?
but why do you even have salespeople if all you're going to do is book 10 dates? 10. Count them on your fingers. 10 locations.
Only 10.
Guys, you're running against the wind here. It's a cover, but it works.
It's a ridiculous.
We thought the 100 with that Wolf
gave
movie was
them-
bad.
like over 30 dates, which is
Yeah.
big for a circuit. I was fine with the day and date streaming. I thought it looked hilarious. And they come back with, sorry, we're only going 10 locations.
You forget a zero again?
And we requested 5 times that.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was silly when they went 100 on the, what was that?
Snow Hollow.
Yeah, Wolf of Snow Hollow movie.
And we were like disappointed by that. And I'm like, but 10? I mean, this is like Netflix territory. What was the point of that? It's day and date.
Yeah, there's actually quite a few markets outside of like, the ones that you would think would be attached to this movie that I think would actually play pretty well.
Right.
Like, because it's a comedy. Like, it looks hilarious.
And it had such a good cast. And so my first reaction was like, it's fine.
Cody's over here wanting to do the honky tonk stomp.
Yeah. All over their faces. And then I got mean and was like, well, why do you even have sales staff if all you're doing is taking 10 dates on dates? I was like, okay, calm down, Cody. That's not very nice. So then my next reaction was like, fine then. Fine, we will just stream it because there's nobody apparently there that cares about if theaters play it or not. So who's going to stop us just to pay the $20 and stream it?
I mean, that's what they want anyway, right? They want the streaming money.
Then my film rental will only be $20.
Yeah.
We'll
Cody,
just stream it.
We don't break licensing rules.
We don't.
You'll never forgive your heart.
We don't approve of that. We're just upset.
United Artists took me to a dark place, people. A dark place where I was willing to break licensing agreements for $20 streaming.
What was the dark place in Get Out in Jordan Peele's movie? She went into that place. I can't remember what it's called now.
I'm assuming
the reference is funny. I promise.
I'm assuming it's under a neon moon.
Didn't think we'd sneak that in there. All right.
That one was hard. That one was looking me right in the face the whole time.
Where am I gonna put you?
Dark place. Oh, thank you, God. I found it.
So yeah, don't stream
crazy.
it. It's not a real suggestion. I say it out of frustration. They have James Bond and will hold that over us until that movie finally comes out.
That ain't no way to go, guys.
You said that one. You got to keep new ones.
God, I was so good until then.
You're just repeating yourself now.
They only did so many songs, Cody. This isn't. They didn't do 190 podcasts. There's not an unlimited well to draw from, or something about every river to come through.
Something about rivers, wells. Their connections there somewhere.
So yeah, United Artists still has James Bond. Don't break your licensing agreements over a film.
Did they do this only to say like, oh, we do support theaters, but no one needs to know that it's only in 10
did
locations?
It to qualify for awards, and that was it. That's why they did 10 locations. It's the Netflix route.
Yeah, okay. That
where
makes
they
sense.
only pick 10 pre-selected locations where they will qualify for awards. It's just so frustrating.
What locations would they even go in? Like, normally it'd probably be like LA and New York.
I think it's just something in LA County, so they maybe have a private screen. I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't
We're
matter.
gonna strip this one from the sheet.
It's one
gone forever.
Sorry about your ears.
It's one too many, but not enough.
All right, that made up for the last one. Something about rivers and wells. Oh,
every river. Look it up, folks.
We'll move on now.
Well,
but
yeah.
United
what are the
Artists
other ones?
on Cody's shit list.
Jordan Peele's number 1. United Artists number 2.
That list is starting to grow.
God must be busy. Cody must be busier making her list.
What else we got?
All right, the Mauritian. I'm butchering this.
No,
name.
I honestly don't know what this is called either.
STX moved up a week to February 12th, so that's good.
Mauritanian?
The
Mortician? No.
The Mortician? I don't think it's that.
I don't think it's that either.
They're rebooting The Martian?
The Martian?
The Martian?
Saint Maud from A24 is just now off the release schedule.
No, it's back on. It's
You said unset.
No, that's I said it was
unset.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry everybody. It's now on 129. So Saint Maud.
Although I'm trying to remember the type of release it is. I don't know if it's staying.
It's very limited.
Very limited.
Yeah, see that if you want to be creeped out.
Yeah.
The Courier from Roadside moved from February 19th to March 19th of 2021. So just moved back a month.
I believe it has Benedict Cumberbatch. So any Cumberbatch fans, keep
Honky-tonk
holding out
pumpkin
hope.
Patch?
I can't wait for Doctor Strange 2 to come out. That's the only Benedict Cumberbatch movie I want to see right now.
Fair enough.
All right. Finding You, also from Roadside, moved from January 29th to April 23rd. So that just got pushed back. The Many Saints of Newark from Warner Brothers moved from March 12th to September. So that's surprising.
That one's a bummer. I was looking forward to seeing it as soon as possible.
It's the prequel to Sopranos,
yes,
right?
And it stars James Gandolfini's son as Tony Soprano.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm surprised that isn't on HBO. Well, actually, wait, no, they're all gonna be on HBO Max, aren't they? Yeah.
Maybe they moved
that,
it to coincide when they're going on HBO.
It has to do with the New York, New Jersey market.
Yeah,
100%. There's nothing other than that has to do with that being pushed back.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then Dutch from what's FMD?
Faith Media Distribution.
Faith Media Distribution.
They did True to the 12th. Game 2.
Oh, they were the ones that did that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
a similar movie
did
that.
They focus on urban stories and diverse acting, and it's done well in certain markets.
Yeah, True to the Game 2 actually did some business in some surprise markets.
I don't remember the original of that, but the sequel did great.
Yeah. So yeah, that's some changes in the release schedule. We'll post those on silverscreeninsider.com under our new release changes news feature item.
Yep. In the news and insights page, we have a new feature for that.
Yep. So if you want to go to news and insights and filter by release schedule changes, you can do that now. We'll have all of our change announcements on there. Okay. So booking strategies, guys. What's coming up? Well, things are moving. It's tough. Right now, Sony hasn't said what they're going to do with Cinderella, but they also haven't given us any more marketing materials. So I just can't imagine that that's staying. I mean, we're a couple weeks out now from it?
2 or 3, yeah.
And we don't have any marketing materials on it.
They'll wait a week before and then they'll move it.
No, they just, I
don't
think
be
that's
surprised.
too big. Yeah. The property's too big for it to not be marketing it right now.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think this week or next week is the, time for MGM to decide on No Time to Die. And that has to move because it's not just New York and LA are not open and probably won't be open by March or April for in any significant capacity, but that the United Kingdom, which is a huge, huge market for it, is also having issues right now. So I just think that movie globally, the global market's not there for it. So that is probably definitely going to move into the fall.
Yeah, I mean, unless if they somehow find a way to sell to, if they somehow find a way to sell to a streamer, which I don't think is very likely. They're asking for a lot of money, like over 600 million amount of money. I think that they're going to be, like you said, waiting on those markets to open up. Right. They'll probably push the fall.
So I saw some news articles on that they screened it for the major streaming sites. They wanted a $600 million price tag. Yeah. No one bought. But what was interesting was the streaming sites did come out and say it's very good. Like it's there. It's really good. It's just that's just too much money for them.
Yeah.
It is definitely a theatrical film for it to make that kind of money. So, but it is there. So that was so good to hear.
But the owner said if they don't pay our $600 million, we'll burn that bridge.
I'd burn that bridge.
All right.
United Artists, I'm talking to you.
But no, that's good at least. There's still wanting to be a theatrical release. It seems like streamers aren't going to really budge, aren't really going to push for that number.
Yeah. I mean, there's only so many, like, even $200 million movies that they can purchase.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not sure how this pandemic's still going to play out, even with vaccines coming, but I feel like it's more likely that they'll be wanting to wait for all the vaccines to really be pushed out to release this movie, and they won't feel too desperate and backed into a corner where they have to sell.
Yeah. Then we talked about breaking news in Yuma County being only 10 locations. What a joke.
I just can't get over that.
I know. It was like
100 took the wind out of our sails.
Yeah. This was just laughable. Like I was like, you've got to be kidding me. This is just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's insulting. Why would you even have given us this information on this movie if it wasn't expected to actually be shown anywhere?
I know.
If you're one of the 10 locations listening, congratulations. But if you go onto our site, there's probably not going to be many materials available because there's
independent films that play in more spots than this movie is going.
I know. United Artists needs to say that's what she gets for loving me.
Yeah, that's what she gets. Sad. But there are people that don't know the business at all that probably can play in more than 10 locations right now with their movie if they work it. Sad. Okay, and then the last thing is Bleecker Street has a film, Supernova. It comes out on the 29th.
Stanley Tucci,
Yeah.
Colin Firth.
Looks really good, but they're going very limited, and I hear they're at their print count already, and they're not taking more dates.
Wow.
So
My heart is lost to you.
well,
Are you kidding me?
To you, Supernova.
yeah.
To
So
you,
that one,
Bleecker Street.
I think they only went like 300 prints or something, and they went very, very limited, and they're already
Better than 10.
Better than 10.
Better than 100.
Some people actually got in on that one. Not any of our
It's
accounts.
literally 30 times more, and
Yeah.
it's going to play in 5 cities.
Yep. So, as far as the rest of, I think we're going to be okay for the rest of January. We have Marksman. We have No Man's Land from IFC that might be kind of playable. There's nothing that first week of February, unfortunately. And then
What about the little things? Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh yeah,
but
and that's and then
the little things from Warner
that looks
Bros.
so
On the
good.
29th,
Yeah, on the
which does
29th.
look really good. Yeah.
So we got some stuff. Our friend from Gravitas is out there too.
True.
Although
That's coming next week.
I think they are going very limited on the 22nd and are looking to expand more on the 29th.
Oh,
So
okay.
Jason Segel's first one in a very long time.
That's
Yeah.
true. I haven't
He's-
seen him in movies in a while.
he's good.
Yeah.
I mean,
And Casey Affleck's good,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Dakota Johnson is good.
she's getting better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was
She
great
keeps
in
her
Peanut
clothes
Butter
on during
Falcon.
this, which is a little disappointing, but
I'm sorry.
we'll take what we can get.
Yeah.
It's not for the 50 Shades of Grey fans. It's very much the opposite.
Are there 50 Shades of Grey fans that are
There
just
absolutely
needing that
are.
film
They're
again?
the,
Well, are just
they're the
needing that
same
film?
ones that
I'm
will be
sure.
going to the little things because they like bondage and serial killers.
Oh, okay.
It's the same audience.
That's the
Totally.
audience. So January is looking good. February is now looking rough. Really rough.
My Maria.
There's basically just films being dumped in there on a super limited basis, I think, to qualify for any awards runs, because there's a longer qualification period now because of the pandemic. I think they're just being dumped, very limited. Qualify for your awards, get in, get out.
Yeah.
And there's not leaving anything for anybody really to play. So
But if you subscribe to Silver Screen Insider, we give you all the options, all the release dates.
yep.
He's
all the
got
release
you.
types. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
He's got you. You hear that?
He's got you.
So yeah, now the booking strategies are tough. I don't know if we go back to repertory. Although Sony does have Groundhog's Day, that might be an interesting one to play. They're doing kind of a little combo, and they are going to have some marketing behind it. So that one is one on the repertory list that I seriously considering doing. But if anybody has any suggestions, send them to our offthebreak.podcast@gmail.com and let us know what you're playing, if you're playing repertory, and if it's doing good.
Yeah, husbands and wives, send us an email and we can get this taken care of.
Wonder where you're going with that one.
Or single people, anybody listening?
I mean, it's
don't
anyone,
Yeah,
anyone, at all.
anyone.
not just husbands
Yeah,
and wives.
You can
out there.
husbands and wives, friends and family, a man this lonely. Anyone can send us
Lonely men can send us stuff.
anything that works.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't need to tell us, by the way. You can leave that
Yeah.
anonymous.
No, I guess if you want to put
I am a
it
lonely
in,
man here to answer your question.
No, tell us about it. Tell us about
you're
my
not
next.
you're not alone if you're listening to this podcast.
No, of course not.
No, we're here to listen. Tell us about your next broken heart.
Yeah. Mr. Alone out there. Okay. So in the news now, there's some fun Marvel news, Kyle, that you had here on the list. What's going on in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Well, first, there was news that Deadpool 3, Kevin Feige of Marvel confirmed that Deadpool 3 will now take place in the MCU. It will be R-rated just like the other two, which is what, these fans are really wanting. They're wanting that R-rated movie. They're wanting it to be in the MCU, so I'm sure
but-
whenever it plays, like, it'll do business.
What is a MCU R-rated movie going to
No,
be? Like,
it's
is it going to
awesome.
be R because it has one F word and they're like, look, we got an R?
No,
No,
well, you can only do that. You can have one F word in PG-13, so it has to be two. It probably would be two F.
I mean,
I don't know. I have no.
No,
I do
I
not
have no
trust.
idea.
I don't
No.
trust them to make it actually an R movie.
It's going to be great. You can Take Deadpool and put him in the Marvel universe, but you can't take the honky tonk out of the girl.
You said that one already.
I forgot.
It was like one of the first.
There's only
5.
so many. They didn't.
Okay, well, have you gone through the whole list?
They really should have thought
sure.
about movie theaters when writing their songs. Unbelievable.
I fit that one in there so good.
Unless the Marvel is going to go to the territory where Deadpool's the honky tonk girl, like he was in his first movie.
Do you think
I don't think they're gonna.
You think this is gonna be late fall, possibly Indian summer that they'll play this? I'm just shoehorning these things in here at this point, guys.
Yeah,
it's keeping me entertained.
it would easily play as a late fall film. I think it would do very well.
I don't think you actually have to answer that question, Cody.
I know. Okay.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm sure it was hard enough for Feige to be like, this needs to be in the MCU, and finally, whoever's in charge of Disney now is probably like, fine, but only 2 F-bombs. Or I'm holding up one finger. 2 F-bombs.
We got to be vigilant. We cannot let them get away with 2 F-bombs and be like, look, it's rated R.
It's still R-rated. It's still the same thing.
Yeah. We want nudity. We want violence. We want sexual innuendos and scenes, and we want lots of our language, because that's what is the best thing about Deadpool.
He's
a dirty birdie, and we want to keep him that way. What else is happening?
Well, more MCU news. Oh my gosh. MCU news is that Chris Evans is apparently finalizing a deal to return as Captain America, not for a 4th Captain America movie, but it might just be a small role in maybe 1 or 2 movies by the sounds of it.
Still my heart.
Yeah, I thought I was going under Getting Over You, but I'm on board with this big time.
There it is.
There it goes.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
You know me.
As soon as
I love Captain America, and
I
love me some Chris Evans as Captain America, and so I'm very excited by this.
I mean, the initial shock faded real quick when I was like, oh wait, like we just live in a world where that can happen. I mean,
yeah.
You know, Tobey Maguire is most likely going to be back in that Spider-Man 3 movie. Like, anything can happen at this point.
Dad bod Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they're taking the Into the Spider-Verse Miles Morales storyline and putting it in real life.
Oh yeah, that's pretty much, yeah.
And they should have put Jake Johnson in it.
I would love that.
A
live action.
So good.
That would have been awesome.
We should put on 50 pounds and start smoking.
Yeah. You eat those hamburgers, Jake
He's like,
Johnson.
done. I will do it.
Yeah.
I am that man. I am Spider-Man.
That one was good. So yeah, well, that's kind of exciting. That gives me something to look forward to.
Yeah, and with those characters, you know, coming back, it's going to be, you know, a win for theaters and a win for people coming to them.
Yeah.
Everything's all normal, so.
Oh, to feel a little normal. Although I'm just really skeptical about Deadpool. I do not trust Disney to give me a good R-rated Deadpool.
I just have to wait and see. You know, I mean, we're making jokes about it, but honestly, I have no idea how R-rated it's going to go, so it's just a wait and see thing. Like, I have to see the movie to.
Yeah.
If it works, Cody will make you say, "I'll never forgive my heart." Oh, come on.
No.
We got like 2 left.
Okay. Then the other piece of news I just thought was kind of interesting and wanted to bring up was that I think it was Hollywood Reporter did an article on the Marcus Theater cinema chain, and they said that they were poised to really survive this pandemic in a lot better position than AMC and Regal, and they credit Marcus, which is the number 4 theater chain based on screen count, with, you know, owning a lot of their locations. They own like over 60% of their locations, and having that ownership enabled them to adapt a little bit more easily, not only to just the pandemic, but also to the changing customer preferences for seats and for dining. You know, they didn't have to go and get landlord permission to put in new seats or to revamp their kitchens for more high-end dining. And so they are able to kind of come out of this, I think, a little bit more flexible and adaptable. They're also a little bit more conservative with their spending. So be on the watch out for Marcus. They might be poised to kind of gain a few locations and move up in that, you know, 2nd or 3rd theater spot, especially if AMC goes under, which I would not be surprised. I shouldn't say they'll go under. They'll never probably go away, but I wouldn't be surprised if they went under bankruptcy and restructuring. I mean, they just have so much debt.
I mean, between me having personal issues with Regal's theaters to begin with, and me being annoyed with AMC and what they did during this pandemic, Marcus Theater sounds pretty great right now. Like, I'm on board. Why not?
I like the idea of a mid-range theater circuit, something that's just very well run, being able to come out of this bigger and better on the other end. I think that's just such a positive story. And it's interesting that having owned more locations is maybe what is positioning them in this time to be better off. Not saying that if you lease your location, you're screwed by any means. It was just an interesting article and nice to know that there are going to be some circuits that survive this, that it is through good management will work. And, it's just going to be tough if you have a landlord to keep, and you've been shuttered to have to deal with that right now. It's got to be very difficult. So
yeah, their business model is if you see him, if you see her, there's a light on the horizon.
Oh,
you had me going there. I was like, what
it's
is
close.
he saying right now? But
it's close.
It's easy
if you see the customers, they will come.
It's really easy to do this while drinking.
So.
Loosens up the creativity. Just lets the ideas flow.
Corinne Karenina. Okay, I got it in. That was not going to fit anywhere.
Something.
Yeah. It was just nice to see another theater circuit besides Regal, AMC, Cinemark make the headlines and have some good news. So
I mean, no one saw this pandemic thing really coming in, really taking into effect this industry. But I think it just shows good management skills. Like it just shows that they have their priorities in check. Like they aren't totally ambitious. Like they are staying true to what they believe in with the theater experience, but also just really smart and with how they manage their business. I just applaud them for that.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And so just a nice little article in there.
Yeah, check that one out.
Kyle, do we have anything else that we need to go over? Anything new on the website?
Anything new on the website? No, we don't have anything too new, I don't think.
Did everybody get their new Monday and Thursday newsletters?
I hope that they did, and I hope that people really enjoyed getting those.
Yep. So leave your comments and suggestions if you've been using the site and you like it, or you want to give some feedback on some things that are tripping you up. Just let us know. Definitely, leave us feedback on the site for that, because we put a lot of time into this, and we want to make sure it's very user friendly.
I will say too, for social media, we do have Off the Break Podcast on Facebook and Instagram now. And I left this as a surprise for Cody, but we are on YouTube now, and we are getting our old episodes up on YouTube currently.
Our old first episodes.
Slowly but surely. If you do want to be on YouTube and listening to those, you can't see it. Obviously, none of them are filmed, but you can still listen to them on YouTube now. And we're hoping in the future that we'll actually have visual and video for all of our episodes in the near future. But for now, they are slowly coming up onto our YouTube page. It's Silver Screen Insider. That's the YouTube page, but there will be Off the Break Podcast episodes, and we are hoping in the future to incorporate more stuff in there.
Oh yeah, we have plans to do how-tos on how to use the website, and more just features. We'd like to hopefully broadcast from CinemaCon in August. Yeah. So if for those of you who may not be aware, CinemaCon has been rescheduled from, it's usually like March, April time.
Yeah.
And it's been rescheduled to August. So we have signed up for that, and we plan on going and hopefully be broadcasting from it. So
Vegas, baby.
Yeah.
Wheeling and dealing.
That wasn't a song. I was just excited.
No, we're just excited for Vegas.
Yeah. I hope that the vaccine rollout and everything happens, and that we don't have, Vegas will be a safe place to go.
Yep. We'll check the strippers for vaccines before we take Kyle to meet all the nice ladies of Las Vegas.
Of course, it's the right thing to do. Everyone has to be safe.
Okay, that sounds really fun. I'm sure Kyle wants us to take him to go see strippers.
I mean, if it's a business meeting,
yeah, we can write it off. I'll take him down that red dirt road.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Now's a good time to wrap up, huh,
yeah.
Cody?
Yeah, I think it's good. I think we went through everything. I'm exhausted from this weekend of SAMS.gov website tutorials.
All right, then we'll get out of here then.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to this episode. Be sure to check us out on all podcast platforms and at silverscreeninsider.com. Again, make sure to check us out Off the Break Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Silver Screen Insider's YouTube page.
We could use some likes.
Likes, follows, share it around. Like, do all the good stuff that you hear on other podcasts.
We're new to the neighborhood for Off the Break Podcast. I know we've got all of our SSI likes, but podcast could use some love, people.
Oh yeah, we're just getting started with that. There's gonna be a whole lot of stuff on all of those platforms. And again, Silver Screen Insider, if you're a theater owner or manager just in need of film information for when you're going to be playing a movie or any sort of marketing material information, it's all there, it's all available, and we are constantly updating all of that.
Well, have a good weekend. It's a holiday weekend. No
3-day weekend.
Nobody should be open on Monday. No studios are open. We're not open. So
see ya.
But an extra day of grosses if you're a theater, which is awesome.
The kids get an extra day off school, and that's always really good for, if you're going to be open. I know a lot of people have cut back to weekends only, but you might think about being open that extra day.
And if you got something else you'd like me to shoehorn into the next episode, please send us a message on Facebook.
Let us know.
Cody and Kyle aren't worn out by this at all.
No.
It's
I was jazzed
awesome.
by it. I was jazzed by it during the whole Cody saying all that government mumbo jumbo.
So much razzle dazzle coming from you this week.
I bring the razzle and the dazzle.
Ow, ow. Okay.
All right.
We
See
need
you, everyone.
sound effects.
We do need sound effects.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll happen soon.
Maybe that'll happen soon.
All right.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.